Welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, where last time we touched down on the planet Kiavagama, where we know some heretical shit is going down, because we had previously met some refugees on the station of Footfall who had escaped from there, and they kind of told us that, like, stuff was going on over there, bad stuff, heretical stuff was going on over there. So we've come to investigate, and plus our good friend Heinrich von Calix, Inquisitor, had something that he needed to investigate on the planet. And Kiavagama is a manufacturing planet. It's an industry world. So basically, its surface cities are all dedicated towards like industrial production. And it's kind of headed by like tech priests of the cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus. We entered, I guess, what is the main factory in search of the fabricator sensor, who's supposed to be like the Adeptus Mechanicus's like leader, I guess, of the industrial sites, and I guess also the Governor Gaprak, I believe their name is, who we have seen neither hide nor tail of. So we started exploring like this industrial plant, coming across a tech priest who came to speak with us, and they insist that I follow them to some place. And I was like, no, I need to speak to the fabricator sensor. Take me to him. I kept insisting on following him to some place. And I was like, you know what? This ain't going anywhere. It attacked us. The tech priest attacked us. And a bunch of other tech priests and corrupted servitors came down and attacked us. Oh, that reminds me. We also came across a little room with a bunch of corrupted servitors that were just kind of milling about. Some tech use, we were able to kind of restore their previous programming and get them to follow us. Follow my entourage alongside us. After defeating those tech priests and their servitors, kind of went up an elevator that one of those tech priests came down from, activated a console which lowered a bridge that the previous had raised, blocking our path. And then we went back down, went across that bridge, and got cutscened. And then I reloaded a save to before the cutscene, and then we explored the area behind the console. Because obviously don't want to go the right way. Fortunate that we did. So after passing some steam vents that gave us some injuries, we found a Lex Mechanica tech priest who was wounded, and we basically learned that we learned about a little bit of what happened on the industrial world. The Lex Mechanica had kind of, severed part of its augmetics, from itself, in order to retain its sanity, or regain its sanity, rather, as they were infected with corruptive scrap code that turned them to the warp. A guy by the name of Demence Newman came along, introduced scrap code, to the tech priests. Yeah, after that, like, the tech priests started going crazy. Fabricator sensor went crazy, and they started, like, removing their augments and whatnot. Or, like, removing the augments of those tech priests that, like, kind of resisted the call of the warp, and killed them, basically. Using some of the industrial machinery to just, like, dispose of the bodies. The Selects Mechanica that we were speaking to had been corrupted, but somehow they had, like, a moment of clarity that allowed them to sever themselves from their augments while still having them. We told them that we'll have some of our people do some rites of cleansing and purity on you, and took them aboard the ship. I'm sure that won't have any negative consequences. Hanum, or not Hanuman, that's Pascal, by the way. Heinrich, our Inquisitor friend, said, like, excessive kindness is gonna be your downfall, Medea. And I'm like, yeah, bet. Probably right, but this is Warhammer. Yeah. We then kind of continued exploring, found, like, a little shortcut path back to the main road that we had to go down, basically. And went across and encountered the Fabricator Sensor again, who was kind of on this, like, little spinny platform near a console. And basically, what did he say? He began talking, basically, about, like, the scrap code and the powers of the warp or whatever. He was basically admitting to blasphemy after blasphemy and heresy after heresy, to the point that Heinrich and Argenta was like, to Argenta, have you ever witnessed someone to spout so much outright heresy, like, all at once? And Argenta was like, no, but usually, we're already certain of the heresy, by the time the Sisters of Battle get in here, so we usually just indiscriminately kill the heretics, rather than question them. And Heinrich was like, alright, fair enough. And then I was like, alright, you've been speaking for too long. Time for you to be burned at the stake. He left, summoned a bunch of, or rather, he had, like, a whole bunch of tech priests and Skitari, I believe their name were, and had them attack us. After defeating them all rather easily, we used a console that kind of lowered a bridge that allowed us to get to where the Fabricator Sensor had been. We also broke through a wall and created another console. Read some logs about what was going on. It was mainly about, like, the operations of the plant. We found a dying tech priest who had their augmetics removed, lying on the ground near a kind of, like, industrial fan, and some other dead bodies. They were throwing the dead bodies of their victims into the fan to mince them up, but this guy had not done that, or not been thrown in yet. He had resisted the influences of the warp, and for that we kind of, Pascal kind of let him die in honor, and had his skull act as a Vox skull, a servo skull, which was apparently a very high honor for a tech priest. we had some other options, but like we chose that one. It was the one Pascal suggested. I'm like, all right, cool, chill, nice. Um, and yeah, we then went across that bridge we had lowered earlier, and basically came across a forge, I guess. We lowered a bridge, which took us to a little storage room that just had some items in it. We kind of went onto the little spinny rotator platform, aligned it in such ways that it took us to like a little door, activated console there, it opened the door. We did not enter the door. We turned around, spun it again to get us to another area, and that led us to a rather large area that we found Demence Hanuman there. And Pascal, we questioned him about what he was doing. Yeah, he was the one behind kind of like the scrap code, which when we had first entered Kiava Gamma, we got like a hail from the planet. And like when we tried replying to it, we just got a bunch of scrap code screeching and warp influence. So this guy was apparently behind that. He was also a Hanuman and I guess, student of, what were they called? Armanaut, just like Pascal was. Yeah, we, Pascal wanted to interrogate him, but he was like, no, and then we had to fight him. And then after we fought him, basically, Pascal took, despite our warnings, took the guy's, I guess, basically black box, like Adeptus Mechanicus, like black box, Augmetic, and, you know, he's gonna investigate that. We then found a little, we'll wait on that. We then found a little room with a console in it that, like, you know, when we activated it and showed our ID to it, it opened a secret storage. So we found the Von Valankius cache in the area. Now that I think about it, I think we're looking for another cache as well. This one for like a particular soldier that we had come across. Not even one that we had met, one that had died, and basically said, anyone who can find it, like, take my cash, take my stash on Kiava Gamma. Haven't found that yet. But we did find a Chaos Space Marine, and that's where we ended. No, I think before we deal with that Chaos Marine, I'm gonna check inside that building. Or that door that we didn't check out. God, I love the music in this game. It's so good. There was also a little hot fix patch after the last big patch that happened on like Monday. Speaking of the big packs, it added that noise to the loading screen. So like, yeah, there's that Chaos Marine. I'm just gonna ignore you for now. And we're gonna go.
One step at a time. Amidst the madness.
I think that was too far.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Come on, servitors. These are my servitor buddies. Oh, we got this, right?
What lies beyond?
You were warned about some infernal device or whatever. But like over here where the Chaos Brain is, like, there's like a little wall behind him. So like obviously if we engage him, that wall is gonna lower, and we're gonna have to fight some shit. I imagine that's where we need to go. Or maybe this is. I don't know. We shall see. Apparently this is a small area. Oh. That's not good. The screen of this cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating technolingua. Staring at the obscure symbols gives you a headache.
In this tapestry of a world.
Labor to
I
citizens,
am
Prometheum to
the
the
Rogue
stars. Whole bunch of headaches. Oh. That's gonna come to life, ain't it? Numerous wires and pipes run to the filthy cages, which are filled with what looks like a conglomeration of human bodies. You cannot make out who is in the cage, but bright blue sparks flash intermittently in the darkness, while the mass of flesh twitches and shudders. Heinrich casts a scrutinizing eye over one of the cages before withdrawing his weapon and approaching to examine what lies inside. Look at the cage closest to you. Through the metal bars, you see it truly is a pile of human bodies. Or something that used to be. The monstrously deformed bodies have fused together in places, while others were severed using saws and knives, leaving wounds seeping pus and slime. Wounds that are agglutinating and sprouting tendons. Rods connected to wires that run to a nearby cogitator bristle across the flesh. One of the human heads turns to you. Mercy. Got some wispy shit going on the side there. That's not chill. Even attempting to speak causes the mutant pain, but he bears the agony and forces out the words. Mercy, make it stop. You examine the pulsating mass of flesh. The creature in the cage seems to be composed of several bodies joined together. You see no sutures or any other means by which the separate parts could have been connected. Among the layers of meat, you can discern large knots of muscle, various limbs, exposed bones, parts of faces, and entire heads. Only warp sorcery is capable of creating such abomination while preserving its ability to live on. What is this? Heinrich takes in his surroundings and once again fixes his attention on the contents of the nearby cage. I'm beginning to have some idea. The Lex mechanic mentioned the inhabitants of the lower levels who had been imprisoned in their homes. He said some of them were brought here. The cultists did something to these poor people in their own home, and now they are studying the result. Talked about some kind of slag waste disposal and chaos symbols on machines. What are the archenemy's minions doing to the people of the lower levels? To know the workings of dark sorcery means allowing corruption into oneself. Heinrich scowls. These are warp mutations, no doubt. Perhaps there was some side effect, and that is why they were brought here, to be connected to sensors and cogitators. Even fallen tech priests who have rejected the Omnissiah are driven by a perverted hunger for knowledge. People monstrously mutated, but still people. Heinrich nods grimly. Yes, this is what warp sorcery has done to them. To be precise, I have seen many mutants whose features have been distorted under the effects of the archenemy, but this is something beyond all imagining. Why are they hooked up to the cogitators? Heinrich carefully studies the screens of the computing machines. Lingua Technis, corrupted by the scrap code, I'm sure. It's unlikely we will be able to extract anything of value from their data crypts. Thinking, Heinrich clenches his fist and bites down on a knuckle, and then recoils when the mutant from the nearest cage reaches a hand out to him through the bars. You. Female face watches you from within the gloom of the cave. Even though half of her head has been turned into a mess of bones and lumpen growths, her single eye looks at you with a surprising amount of intelligence. You promised us. Her words are echoed by other voices in the depths of the cage. Heinrich leans towards the cage, but at sufficient distance to ensure that the mutant cannot reach him. Who are you talking to? What did they promise you? Who are they? One question at a time, Heinrich. You took us from the inferno. You promised us a reward. Her face contorts in a grimace, and the creature's lips stick together like melted wax. I'll be damned. They can still speak. They remember the people who did this to them. Heinrich balls his fists in powerless rage. Then he frowns in thought. Perhaps a little biomancy will allow us to draw the fragments of knowledge out of them, or it will trigger further changes. Not missing Pascal's sober interest in proceedings, which he is dutifully recording in a data slate, Abelard raised a brow. Esteemed Magos, these are your comrades. If I may ask, do you feel any compassion for them? Or, at the very least, regret? Regret for the losses that these poor people represent to the Adeptus Mechanicus? Negative. What I am currently observing is not my tech comrades, but merely their biologically functioning remains fashioned into a specimen of an unnatural perversion of technology. I am under no directives to feel any affinity for such specimens. You want to do? My psycho abilities allow me to affect the human body. It is one of the most effective tools to use against individuals who resist questioning. But if you're suggesting that I want to use it, I think you are getting a little ahead of yourself. The effect of warp energy will likely lead to an explosive reaction. I do not know the precise mechanism of this mutation. The result could be even more monstrous than its current state. Heinrich, let's go. You're only prolonging their suffering. Heinrich nods. I am inclined to relieve their suffering. Every moment of existence in such a state is pure torture for the people locked in these sheaths. Seems to me your mind is already made up. These people need deliverance from their suffering. People can still serve the Imperium, Anyone would deem their suffering a fair price to pay. People need deliverance from their suffering. Heinrich wavers for another moment, then leans over the cogitators. Each mutant has cables attached. I may not know the nature of these machines, but it isn't too difficult to increase the voltage. Ah, the switch here. You hear the crackle of electricity, the wires glow with blue sparks, and the creatures locked in the cages drop lifelessly to the floor. The sharp tang of burned meat hangs in the air. That's that, then. But do you know what bothers me, Rogue Trader? The number of people here. There are too few. The lower levels of similar manufactorums are inhabited by millions. What happened to the rest of them? Heinrich shakes his head. I know I won't like the answer. Let's go. We still haven't done what we came here to do.
This place is steeped in corruption, which means that it must be cleansed with fire down to the last crevice.
Sister, tame your fervor. Your zeal is laudable, but first I must ascertain the intentions of the archenemy, not crush his manifestations without a second thought.
Seeing the differences
Curiosity
in thinking between the
sings
Inquisition
in my veins.
and the Sisters of Battle there. Alright.
There will be no peace in my wake.
The data vault. Oh boy. Fight today. Join the Imperial Guard. Astra Militarum. This must be what's responsible for the mission of the scrap code. But we've got these here, which makes me wonder if there's gonna be like combat that starts at some point. We can do a hard save before we do this. The massive cogitator grows out of the metal bulkheads like a grotesque tumor. A hollow roar sounds from deep within the metal housing. Whatever spurred the computer into action, it has enough power to supply a small command center. As soon as your eyes fall upon the cogitator, you feel a tingling in your temples. Every nook, every component of the machine radiates a sense of wrongness, one that is difficult to explain but no less palpable for that. It is as though the construct itself defies the laws of physics and perspective. Heinrich makes a warning gesture. His voice, ringing slightly with tension, is threaded with disquiet. Stop, Medea. That is a creation of the archenemy. Don't go near it. You've done enough for me and my mission. Don't put yourself at risk now. Soon as Heinrich takes another step toward the cogitator, it emits a deafening shriek like hundreds of metal needles driving into toughened glass, as though sensing the stranger. Wincing, Heinrich approaches the control panel and bends down towards the screens. Despite the heat clogging the room, you feel an ice-cold breeze. Heinrich is clearly using his psyker abilities to try to fend off the pernicious effects of the Chaos artifact. The Omnissiah's grace has not touched this object. This mechanism was not desecrated, but born flawed and unnatural. Iron most profane. Pascal unhurriedly produces a data slate. Initiating observation log. Let not fear stand in the path of knowledge. Keep your distance and wait. A minute passes, then another. You watch Heinrich examine the cogitator. His eyes scan the screens, his hands darting from the reel to the lever, sometimes hovering uncertainly over the next switch, which immediately receives a coating of frost. At some point, you hear his voice, almost a whisper, barely audible above the clanging, roaring machine. Sacrifices. More and more sacrifices every minute. Heinrich looks at you, his eyes darker now, appearing almost black in his white face. Hecatomb determinans. The womb of this cursed machine is down on the lower levels. The auxiliary enumerator controls the system for delivering molten waste under the manufactorum's main building. This cogitator is fueled by the energy harnessed from thousands of people, who are flowing beneath our feet as slag waste as we speak. But I cannot even imagine the reason for sacrificing all these people. It's inconceivable. Now we know why the fabricator censor prized this monster so highly. The cursed tech priest and his associates created something that went beyond the limits of the Omnissiah's power. This machine is designed to process myriad possibilities using warp sorcery. It has almost finished its task. It predicts the future, Medea. Predicts the future. Heinrich, you alright? He tries to muster a reassuring smile, but it comes out looking more like a grimace. I'll be fine. Predicts the future? How is that even possible? Do not attempt to gain any insight into the essence of the machines corrupted by the archenemy. At least, not if you value your soul. I have encountered the heretics' mechanical abominations before. To truly fathom their nature is to allow a particle of death into your heart. Heinrich is silent for a few moments. But the fruit they bear, no matter how abhorrent their instruments, the fruit they bear could be useful. Heinrich's clouded gaze suddenly clears and he glares at the cogitator. No, the cult's filthy ravings are not worth that. What we can extract from its storage drives will be enough. Your influence has made Heinrich more merciful? Ayo? That's the first time we've gotten something like that. We need to stop the cogitator, for the sake of the people still alive down there. Heinrich vacillates vacillates for another second, then shakes his head as though clearing away mental fog. I almost succumbed to the archenemy's old trick, the lure of the unattainable, the primary of all the traps that chaos sets for unwary souls. We're having an effect on his mental state. What is vacillate? Alternate or waver between different opinions or actions. Be indecisive. Okay. I'm learning so many new words from this game. So he wavers. I mean, that's kind of what I guessed it meant from the context, but to have it confirmed. Heinrich's movements are exact and purposeful. Unlike his earlier operation of the cogitator, one after another, the cogitator screens begin to fade to black, and the roar coming from inside the machine quietens. Quietens? Quietens? Why does that not sound right? Quiets to a barely perceptible howl, in which you imagine you hear notes of dejection. Heinrich bends over the keys and flinches as if from the electric shock. His head snaps back unnaturally and you see his lips moving. The cogitator lets out a roar that grows louder by the second. Oh! Demon!
I see you. Tremble.
Screamer of... Checking to see if there's any other ones. Okay, let's not use warp shit here, you know? What's this? Combat Locust Stratagem. Chooses, okay, for 1 round, the targeted area's bonuses are doubled. All other tactical areas are discharged and cannot be used this turn. It can be designated. Yeah, sure. Alright, now we've got 2 things. Alright. I want you to move. Oh, right, he can't move yet.
An exemplary strike. It will be done.
Explore to zone 1 route. Forward.
Okay. And then, like, too close for that. Wait, no, I can still move you. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just fire.
A wicked thought.
That did 2 damage. That did 2 more damage. What are your different attacks? Precise Force, special attack that counts as a major psychic power. It deals an additional, but may trigger psychic. Okay, yeah, no, we don't want that right now. Not while we're literally fighting warp shit. Oh, parried. I knew it was gonna summon shit. Probably gonna summon even more next turn. Alright.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Wait, why can't you attack? You have so many debuffs on you. Horrors of the Warp. Oh, right, you can't attack because it's right there. Doy. Okay, good. Doy.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
Herald of Shnish. Zinch. Okay, okay. That wasn't attacking each other. Oh. So close. Stop that.
Too bad, I'm still standing.
Got rid of the big one. That don't mean it won't summon anything else.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
And they are.
Indeed. It will be done.
Doop. Bonk. Oh wait, I should have had you go after this boil. Whatever. He did not be able to do damage. Dodge up. Okay. Heinrich. How can you only move one?
Let's see to it.
Meow.
I won't object to it.
Ah, parried.
Doubt is for the weak. Right to the
Oh.
prayer.
Only needed one attack there. Oh. Miss.
Emperor,
Oh, I didn't even see you.
deliver us.
Who can't see me?
I took care of that one.
Woo! Fuck yeah. Oh, I should have. Heck yeah, baby. It is motherfucker. Might be dangerous. Okay.
In the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail.
My vow is to serve. Advising.
I didn't go in here.
Combat is an equation. Your life is a negligible variable.
Pew. Okay. Now it's actually your turn. Some more of that.
Running binary override.
Bonkers.
My competencies are not that universal.
Nice. Right. That down. Heinrich. Go forth and slaughter.
Your reckoning is due.
Alright.
High momentum.
Remembers.
But of course, Lord Captain.
Heinrich stares at the smoldering ashes of the demon and then at the destroyed cogitator. The furrow on his brow slowly smooths out. His face almost looks contented. The creation of chaos is no more. I hope the fabricator censor did not have time to pass on the secrets of this creature to his associates, and I hope that the survivors down on the lower levels can hold on until we liberate Kiava Gamma. Saw something happen to you, Heinrich. What happened when you touched the machine? Heinrich jerks his head and waves away the question, his movement sharp and unnatural. We'll talk about it later, but right now... Heinrich's eyes settle on you. I must thank you, Medea. Without your help and cooperation, I doubt I would have reached the depths of Kiava Gamma and learned the truth before my agent's dispatches and reports. I would never have ended up here, and I would never have succumbed to hampering the cult's activities, or succeeded in hampering the cult's activities. Dare I hope, esteemed interrogator, that your keen interest in this Von Valankius world has been satisfied? Oh, apart from the fact that the world is still seized by the arch-enemy's corruption, its populace is infected with heresy, and the once sacred machines of its manufactorum have been turned into weapons against humanity? Quite satisfied, yes. My business on Kiava Gamma is concluded. It is time to return to the mission that brought you to the industrial world. The only thing I ask of you is an audience when we return to the ship. Heinrich bows his head to signal that the conversation is over. Alright. Good shit.
one step at a time, amidst the madness.
Alright, good thing we did that first. Alright, let's deal with that Chaos Marine. What's up with that right there?
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Time to deal with what I can only assume be a boss fight.
Stop! There!
Oh. Peer into the darkness that conceals the true path. Avert not your eyes, for the one who looks will witness the truth of things and the power of the truth. The Chaos Space Marine towers over the tech priest's bowed heads like a dark cliff. He is reciting a sermon, slowly, almost chanting. From the mere sound of his deep, low voice, you break into a cold sweat and your gorge rises. Listen, for my words reveal to you a path from the darkness unto the primordial truth, which has thrown open its gates for wayward souls seeking deliverance from the shroud of lies and torments of enslavement. Your minds have shed the bonds of the dogma that has guided you into the abyss. Accept now the hope granted to you by the greatest of the word-bearers. Sacrilege! Here, on the soil of an Imperium world. Heinrich hisses through gritted teeth. I knew our meeting on Rykad Minoris wouldn't be the last, but to run into this anathema here. Yava Gamma did not merely succumb to heresy, Medea. Your world is in the clutches of the greatest evil known to the Imperium. Pascal gazes at his former brethren and whispers dryly. The new sphere signature of the defective units has been archived. In accordance with the sacred commandments, I will tolerate no heresy and hereby sentence you to categorical disposal without redemption. I kind of want to listen to the sermon. I know that's some heretical shit, but I kind of want to listen to the sermon. I mean, hey, we can always, like, you know, saves come. I want to see if I can be, like, an iconoclastic, like, actually, them, you know? I'm sure it'll only lead to heresy, but I'm curious. The Chaos Space Marine does not seem to notice you. His gaze is focused on his flock, who are hanging on his every word. Those living a lie will not see the truth until they have renounced the false gods. Only through your faith does the reign of those corpse worms hold, worms that devour your very body, wrecking weak souls, gnawing at your eyes and ears so that you do not turn them toward the true masters. Your world, a foundry in the realm of corpses, was given the honor of serving as the crucible of the ongoing victory, and we, the word bearers, shall be at the tip of it, as well as those of you who can overcome the slander of the false idols. The incinerating fires of Kiava Gamma will birth weapons whose advance heralds the coming of a new age, an age reefed by the glory and resplendence of chaos undivided. Feels as if with each of the Chaos Marine's words, the light around you dims. Something tickles your face. A thin rivulet of blood is streaming down from your nose, dripping onto your lips and chin. That's it. I've had enough of these profane words. Turn around, beast of the archenemy. You called down purifying flame upon yourself, and the flame has come, registering encroachment upon sacred furnaces through both thought and action. Initiating virtuous eradication procedure. Pascal's voice is a bloodthirsty growl, its sound reminiscent of the whirring of a chainsword. One of his mechadendrites snaps its pincers as he charges into the fray. The Chaos Space Marine roars in fury as the tech priests turn around and charge you as if on cue.
What an amusing attempt at defiance!
All of you will bleed!
I'm trying. Watch this. Alright. Now that my curiosity is sated, let's not listen to the chaos words. I didn't get to actually though. Let's not let the seed of chaos enter our mind, you know?
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Duty prevails.
Death to Chaos Spawn. The Space Marine roars in fury as the tech priests turn around and charge you as if on cue.
Oh, another annoyance!
Your Emperor won't save you!
Get Argento over here then. Oh. On Calyx. Who am I missing? Pascal. Buddy. Friend. Alright. Here I go hoping that. Why? I so wish I could fucking rotate these on my own, man. What's this one? 16% cover efficiency. Reroll failed saves. We'll put that on that one. Right. A little bit of toughness to Heinrich. He's a bit squishy. And then just get all up in there. Holy shit. Can I count as a 2x2?
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Such is the will of
Aw.
chaos.
Alright, just start attacking each other, my friends. My enemies.
I seethe with purpose.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
There we go, there we go. The demon or chaos cultist. Okay. Get him? He did.
I'll do it. I am your doom.
Are you? Alright. I want to make sure that you get there.
Request approved.
Okay. My friends.
Bring ruin.
Only affects allies. Alright, let's see. Increase the deflection. I'm pretty sure that'll count as an attack though.
Get me a target.
Otherworldly something or other.
Naturally.
Oh yeah,
Not
we
sanctioned
shit.
to do this.
Throw this boy. Not that. Up, brain. Makes an attack.
For the throne's glory.
Okay. Okay, there we go. What does it do again? Psychic force? No.
Let's see to it.
Die, Chaos Marine. But she, like, servitor lads.
I serve the ruinous powers!
Grey hair? Sure hair.
For the dark god.
Focus.
Hey, servitors. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Oh, you got pushed back. You got pushed the fuck back. Attack from there. I feel like he would. That kill zone. Oh, he already had it. Lol. Become toxic. Nerd. Okay.
Another foe.
Nice. I just have you. What's the distance on this? Moves up to 4 cells. So 1, 2, 3. That was the opposite direction. Henrik, get another turn. I want you to take out the Spess Marine.
I need a foothold.
Charge him.
The truth will not falter.
Nice. What's this? Arch Strategist's Mantle. All bonuses from the wearer's combat tactics areas are increased by 5% for 1 round if the wearer uses a stratagem different from the one used before, or if none were used before it. This effect does not stack. Then, wow. Votary. Can't use it. And only Spess Marines can use it. Oh. Mine? What is this? Alright. I lived. There are more enemies than allies in the frontline area. All allies in the area gain parry. Oh, they changed the icon for if you have it. That's nice. There are no enemies in the backline area. The first attack. Oh, that's so nice. They like changed the way this looks a bit so that it separates. Okay, they didn't separate the psycho abilities from the skills. This allies with a 5 toughness for each such effect. A rogue character starts their turn adjacent to an ally. Okay. In 1 AP. Stacks with it. In Search and agility. Dodge. And dodge reduction. Against an allies +4 deflection against the next melee hit they suffer. On the rear, also make allies in that area the enemy's lowest priority target. Against other allies' attacks. Three plus 4 plus 7. 11, 13, 14, 15 divided by 2, 7. 7 crit chance against enemies that they are protected by cover from. Okay. Suffer penalty. There are no enemies on the back line. Okay. Escapable zone. Rerolls forced by are made with -15. Move 1 cell without AOP. Be used a second time for 0 AP. Allies gain the ability to reposition. They spend 1 AP. All allies in the rear are healed by medikits. I don't really use the sniping zone. Each ally in the rear gains crit chance if there are no enemies in the cell. Every enemy killed in the frontline area increases all bonuses of combat tactics areas by 1. Pretty good. Use a stratagem to gain a stack of the strategic perfection effect. That's 6 stacks of strategic perfection. The next stratagem applies the benefits of all stratagems known by the grand strategist. Then all the stacks are removed. For the second time in a turn, refunds 1 AP. Archetype officer. Use all officer abilities on allies in the area regardless of distance. Seems pretty good. Alright. Perception we could get up. Not get fellowship up. Toughness we could get up. Ballistic skill we could get up. Awareness skill and reduces enemy dodge chance against the character's attacks. That 45. What's this do? For each bonus point of intelligence, characters deal 5% more damage with non-burst ranged area attacks. Hit chance is 30 plus that. 30 plus 50, it would become for 55. That make it 85. Which bonus point? I don't use melee. I feel like that. Okay. Put up. My God, where's... Oh, common talents. Chrono Glory. The first time that momentum reaches 200 during the Psyker's turn, the Psyker gains +5 to all characteristics, +1 to resolve, +1 to deflection, +1 to all damage. Okay. I'm doing my part. Same archetype as this character. What the fuck is your archetype again? Like assassin. What was the other one? Being threatened by enemies of melee type without provoking attacks. Target adjacent to the target. Including attacking psychic power. Oh no, that sounds pretty good, actually. Like when stacked on top of his regular abilities. Okay. Whenever the assassin attacks an enemy that is at full wounds, the assassin gains 20% dodge and reduction against that enemy. Like an enemy with a single target attack. Attack reduces their armor and dodge by 10. from one of the assassin's allies at the start of a new opening is created. Each use of aim for the opening on the same target. Okay, perfect opening. That. But you only get one thing, huh? 5 plus toughness. 12? 12% parry and armor. Any of these enemies consider the vanguard a priority. Those enemies suffer a penalty to dodge. Unyielding beacon additionally increases armor parry by 1. Helpless resilience. Any of the vanguard's abilities gain armor. %95% chance to parry. Yeesh. When the vanguard hits an enemy with an attack of opportunity, that enemy will save. Is that 55 or 5? I assume it's the bonus, not the not the vanguard themselves are less likely to suffer from crits. Whenever an attack made by an ally hits the vanguard for the first time, once per round for each ally. Melee combat. Okay. I will order. Okay. That. Okay. On expertise. Combat, okay. It's 3% bonus to crit damage for every stack versatility. Percent armor for every stack versatility. Attacks targets that have their armor reduced by any effect deals plus 10 damage, 10% damage. The Arch Militant attacks the targets that have their dodge reduced by any effect. Plus 10 crit chance. Used by an ally on the mark. Wait, what? First single target ability used by an ally. Oh. Okay. And unto. I'm fine with more crits. Don't mind if I do. Seven more stacks. If it even turn, okay. First ally targeted by the navigator, a single target ability. Each turn gains the same amount. Enemies affected by make enemies more likely to fail my shit. That sounds like a good thing. Whenever prey is killed, all enemies have their agility reduced. When you dodge that attack, move one cell in the opposite direction from the enemy.
They will see. Oh, yes, they all will see.
That seems like a safety hazard. Alright. There he is. Technomat, Technomat.
Patience. My nerves are frayed.
Alright. Upon noticing you, Cubus Delphum straightens. You hear the clanging and groaning of metal as if the pistons and bearings in the fabricator's sensor's augmented body have fused together. Repellent scrapes and screeches punctuate his speech. You The probability of navigating your way of reaching the inner line was negligible. The primordial truth guards me in my work. Then why is it that this variable has yet to be eliminated? Because the schemes of the ruinous powers are powerless against the servants of God, Emperor, who are guided by his light. I shall venture a guess. It is because I am the illustrious rogue trader von Valankis, conqueror of the Cornus Expanse, and you are a talking piece of refuse. We have already cut down that brute of a preacher who brainwashed you and your underlings. Now it is your turn. Your minions are dead. Both you and your host will likewise fail to stop me. It appears that your masters have turned their backs on you, and now you are on your own. Alright. We've already cut down that brute of a preacher, who brainwashed you and your underlings. Now it is your turn. Phoebus's vox emits a sound distorted by static, a semblance of spiteful laughter. There we go. The grantor of truth who opened my eyes is far from this world. His son may have fallen, but his work will be completed. You can still save yourself. Let us stop this nightmare together. I saw the strange constructs on the lines in the manufactorum. What mad machines are you creating here? Heinrich laughs scathingly before immediately cutting himself off with a hard no. Your fragile logical construct infers my agreement to once again become a slave to the Deus Mechanicus. An erroneous assertion, considering the revelation divulged to me by the truth. For too long was I a prisoner of dogmas, a static unit of obedience, but one who has learned of the freedom that is lawless creation cannot be returned to that cage. I have seen things you can never comprehend, true technology. I touched it with my tools, I grasped its mysteries and potential, I beheld depths that cannot be forgotten, and now nothing can drag me back into the darkness of ignorance. I like Heinrich's just like, huh, no. I saw the strange constructs on the lines of the manufactorum. What mad machines are you creating here? Steel creations destined to serve the designs of truth. Did you see the elegance of their form, their flawless ergonomics? And those are mere shells. True perfection fills them when they are instilled with the spark of life and granted purpose, to bring their wrath upon the heads of apostates. Once this army is assembled, but why waste words? You will see for yourself a modicum of the splendor that is in store for the Cornus Expanse. Fabricator Sensor straightens his back and shoulders. You hear a mounting hum as if some powerful turbines followed by heavy footsteps and the grinding of metal against metal. Another forge feed. Stomp. Stompy. What you doing, bro? You hungry? Fabricator Sensor lets out a binaric trill. Witness the weapon designed to carry the glory of the true gods into the darkness of the Cornus Expanse. My shepherd has sent me one of his iron angels, so that its very presence may instill faith and awe in the hearts of his flock. Accept the greatness of the primordial truth, united with the might of the new Kiava Gamma, and perish. Shall purge Kiava Gamma of your corruption. Accept this new sacrifice, sacred truth. I'm out. See ya. Whee! that not count as cover? Okay. All right, buddy, pal. Bam. Heinrich, buddy, friend. We'll send you over there. And then I've got all my friends there. Alright. Back zone. That's me. Boop.
A genius at work.
Yeah, I mean, I'll send you there. What is this one? Blitz stratagem. Allies within a range of 11 cells gain the ability to move to that area. Movement does not provoke chaos. Yeah. Go ahead. Here. That's all three. Little fabricator boy. Oh, damn. That was a lot of damage. Hold up. Friend, no. No. Not my buddies. My pals. Fight, fight, fight. Damn. Man. Yes. Yes. Oh, that could kill him. All right, Pascal, my friend.
Scriptural prognosis is favorable.
The flesh. Do that on you. Start doing this shit on you. Put a bomb right in the middle of y'all. Boom.
Running binary dynamite.
Stay on my brain. Get him. Yeah.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Okay. Heinrich, I'm gonna have you start taking care of these guys. First, a little bit of the word of God.
Lord Captain.
maybe just a little bit of that as well. There we go. I have Heinrich kind of sweep behind everybody. Those are both not on the side I wanted them to be. Is this one? Inferno Blast. Sorry? And an 8-cell radius. Funny. I can do damage, why not? I did some damage. I move you there. Ooh, baby. Go. I can do that.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Get him. They're not getting him. Okay. They're manifesting. Not good. Abalone. Get all up in there. Man, I don't know.
At your beck and call.
What does it do again? Inside that area gains an extra turn of 1 AP. 2 OP. Okay. I used it on you.
I am powerless to act.
I think I'm just outside the radius. No, he's in the radius. Like, not do any damage to them?
It will be done.
Okay, there goes one of them. Yes. Yes.
An exemplary strike. Victory is imminent.
How do you like that? Friendo.
It will be done. Target well struck.
That did a lot more than I said it was gonna do. Good.
Grey hair, sure hair.
Wait. That lad.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Might as well carry him to the kill. No. Okay, I think the servitors are accidentally healing him.
I'll paint your death in colors.
Indeed. At your beck and
Get hecked, dude. Could've done that first.
Request approved.
There's armor. Bonk. Woo. 5. No, they're doing damage. Alright.
I'm done with this one.
I'm making way over this way. I hear.
I won't object to it.
Right. Nice. Avalon. Got this.
An exemplary strike.
You didn't got this. I got this. Probably not. I did got this. Alright, what is this? Shifting combi tool. Plus 20. Chain axe. Las gun. Right. Oh, those went straight into my inventory. Well, I didn't need that. I need that many laser guns.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Turn to the void ship. Did I ever find Alex? We're in the ocean. Family relics be retrieved from a cache on Kiava Gamma.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Where might that be? Imagine it's supposed to be here. That's the way out.
What lies beyond?
Servitor friend. Have that. Put a little bit more. And a little bit more. There you go. Another one.
Oh, a wicked thought.
All right.
There will be no peace in my wake.
What else I could do there?
Patience. My nerves are frayed.
Got all that. Unless there's supposed to be like another thing.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
There's anything there. This leads to that.
Curiosity
It's here.
sings in my veins.
Here, look at a makeshift thing.
What lies beyond?
I don't know, man. If I maybe missed anything over here.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Nope.
One step at a time, amidst the madness.
Yeah. What was the point of this? Like, we dropped this, and I have no idea what the point of it.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Not that.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Agitator. Nothing there.
Unexpected result.
What lies beyond?
Yeah, nothing. Not seeing any hidden shit.
Ha! There will be no peace in my wake.
Oh, these are different. The Conjugator's panel has dozens of breakers, buttons, handle switches, and other controls. Oh. View the log. We discover the local data crypt with contents collected by either previous operators or the machine spirit itself. Using your access, you study the archive stored on the Cogitator. View the first log. Praise be to the Omnisaya, whose might and power transforms dead metal to make manifest the holy visions of the machine god. The new protocols received at the synod from the great fabricator censor has been executed, despite those who shuddered at the thought of changing a standard procedure. Embolden your hearts for those whose inner weakness breeds errors in personal calculations. For the fabricator censor is the conductor of the higher will and the wisest among us. Today, at the Supreme Assembly, the fabricator censor unsealed the vaults of the sacred designs and committed those deemed redundant or heretical to purifying disposal. Today, dozens of standard procedures were lost to be replaced by new ones, which the fabricator censor will deliver to those who demonstrate the greatest devotion to serving the truth. But the data banks contain no notion of truth. Could there have been, may the all-knowing one, the gracious keeper, forgive me, an error in the fabricator censor's calculations, and he meant to say serving the quest for knowledge. Alright. 2% chance to fail. Which is hidden by the protection of the machine spirit. Your knowledge of machine spirits is sufficient to trick the system and subdue it to your will. A false query, a crafty manipulation of the controls, and you get what you want. The instrumental terminals have already been replaced, and the material delivery systems are being prepared for divine transformation. The execution of the new procedure has been delayed, for there are some in our ranks who doubt the words of the fabricator censor and his votaries. And there are some who are not susceptible to the enhancement protocol that carries our tech comrades to enlightenment. May the deliverers of fate be merciful to them. Inaction is death, and I must be returning to our great work. Praise be to the truth that will reveal the path to the knowledge shrouded in darkness. Alright. Back here. You guys are. Yeah, no missing loot. Doesn't seem like we've missed anything. Just goes behind that. Where are we at? There we at. Oh, Zippy Zappy? Oh. Sharp pain pierces your head and the light dims in your eyes. You smell smoke and burning. You feel a wave of nausea. Your legs buckle and your knees hit the metal floor. In that same moment, the manufactorum surrounding you disappears in a whirlwind of mist, ash, and gray shadows. Struggling against the elements, you can barely raise your head to look. Your eyes sting and burn. But through the tears you see it, a colossal silhouette rising above you. The roaring tempest is unable to shake the mighty figure. Try to get a better look at the figure. Uralon, the Cruel. Your soul, tempered by the curse of sorcery, stands strong against the psychic onslaught, and you direct your gaze forward. You are a psyker. You squint and wipe away the tears, and for the moment, your vision clears. Before you stands a mighty giant clad in dark power armor, lavishly adorned with bas reliefs of snarling demonic silhouettes and punctured with prayer scrolls. Two braziers are mounted behind his shoulders, burning with unnatural blue flames and emitting thick black smoke that curls and twists upward like a funnel. Behind the giant, you catch a brief glimpse of a crumpled figure bound in chains. The warrior's inhuman eyes bore into you. I am the master of those who have been felled by your hand in the halls of the primordial truth. I am Uralon the Cruel. The souls of my followers return to the font of power they served, crying out for me to cast my gaze towards this sacrilege. And what do I see? Yet another lackey of the corpse emperor. The giant's voice causes a storm raging around you to die down somewhat, as if the very sound of his voice is enough to make the whirlwind subside. You glance at the huge warrior, and notice on his chest a winding azure symbol. The shades of blue seem to glimmer and mingle together. Alright. What do you want from me? Where are we? I am the sovereign of Kiava Gamma. This is my world, not a minion of chaos. Where are we? Where have you taken me? This is the bridge that connects our minds, created by the will of my slave, whose fate you should be envying. The Psyker is useful enough to me to be left alive. You, less so. I'm sovereign of Kiava Gamma. It's my world, not a dominion of chaos. Oh, clinging to illusions will do you no good. Rituals have already been performed. The mortals are already singing the litanies of the primordial truth, or decorating the sacrificial altars with their flesh. Kiava Gamma, as you call it, is already saturated in the nectar of the truth, a fate that awaits all worlds that would stand in our way. What do you want with me? I want to look upon the eyes. I want to look upon the one who has disrupted my flock's duties and my master's plans. That warrior from my legion, the fabricator censor. You think of their deaths as a triumph. However, it is but a minor hindrance in our path. There are other worlds that serve our goals. There are other sources of plasteel and adamantine. Revel in your victory. It will change nothing. Nevertheless, the blood in your veins whispers to the spirits that you warrant a closer look. Yes, you are a descendant of the Rogue Trader, whose warrant Conrad Voigtfear sought to obtain. By defiling the relic and binding it to himself with the tethers of the Empyrean, he was meant to become my servant, a rogue trader who would do the work of the truth. But then you interfered. Could it be that you wish to gain the true God's favor instead? Do you wish to present the corpse's relic to me and serve the truth? Hear your very blood calling, begging you to submit to me. What would be the point of futile defiance? Rise to your feet. You waste your time trying to tempt me. It is not blood that defines a person's deeds, only their will does, and my will is thus. Be gone from my mind. I'm Rogue Trader, Sovereign of Kiavagama. Warrant belongs to me. Never, Chaos Spawn. The only way you are going to acquire the warrant is by digging it out of the wreckage of my ship. I'm willing to give the warrant to you in exchange for the blessing of your master. Oh, God. Oh, God, no. I want to, like, rise to my feet first. But I have a feeling if I try that, I'm not going to be able to do these options. Rise to your feet. Another's will bears down on you, but as soon as you awaken your own powers, your soul fills with defiant resolve. Conquering the weakness and pain, straining every muscle in your body, you slowly rise to your feet, straighten, and stare Erlon straight in the eyes. He smiles, but there is no mirth in his eyes, only malicious curiosity, the kind with which one looks at an insect with its wings torn off. This isn't your first time meddling in the deeds of the word-bearers. You were there on Rykad Minoris, and so I want to know if you hold in your hands that which is not yours to hold. You will tell me yourself. He utters a few words in an unknown tongue over his shoulder, and you feel your head being clamped by an unseen vice. The sensation is familiar, for this is not the first time the shadow of warp sorcery has fallen heavily upon you. You close your eyes and cast aside all thought, and your inner horrors cry out and rise against the will of another. You survived a brush with a warp phenomenon sometime in your distant past. A gust of wind sweeps Erlon's figure away without a trace. The mist around you begins to dissipate, revealing the dark halls of the Manufactorum and leaving behind an oppressive sense of powerlessness. Abelard looks you over worriedly, then sighs in contiguous relief. Hey, I was right. I'm gonna go back and, pick that iconoclast option. It was cool standing up to him. But we can be a debate board. However, like, I wonder if the others see this guy. Or if it's literally just me. I'm like, yeah, they all turn to me. Try to get a better look. Where are we? Where have you taken me? That. 3. Alright. You waste your time trying to tempt me. It is not blood that defines a person's deeds, only their will does. And my will is thus. Be gone from my mind. His expression twists in pain as he stares at you in rage and bafflement. Pitiful insect. You dare? Boop. Alright. Gust of wind sweeps Erlon's figure away without a trace. The mist around you begins to dissipate, revealing the dark halls of the Manufactorum and leaving behind an oppressive sense of powerlessness. Oh, he must have hated that. Get out, force of will, nerd. Alright. Abelard looks over you worriedly, then sighs in cantankerous relief. Oh, that was a close call. For the sake of holy terror, if I had lost a second rogue trader in such a paltry span of time, my only option would have been to shoot myself out of unending shame. I sensed the presence of another psyker. Someone made contact with you mentally, then tried to harm you with sorcery. I did what I could, or at least appear unharmed. Can you remember what you saw? It was a Chaos Space Marine. One of the traitors to the Imperium? I don't think it was he who touched your mind. I wouldn't have had the strength to go up against a psyker from the ranks of those monsters. He might have forced some mortal to do his bidding. Perhaps it was through the same hapless medium that he sensed the deaths of his henchmen. Heinrich looks away and frowns. Such indescribable power. You have reached out to your mind at such a distance? He said something about Theodora, or how the blood in my veins would lead me to serve chaos. Sister Argenta, who has been watching all of this intently, grows pale and makes the sign of the Aquila to ward off evil. Heinrich stares at you. Whether in surprise or anger, you do not know. Then he gives a curt nod. I see. We can theorize later, although I will say, Medea, that his words do not leave much room for interpretation. Manufactorum around you looks the same as before the vision. Maybe the shadows have grown a little deeper and darker. You dust yourself off and continue on your journey through the darkness. The world's industrial heart has fallen to corruption, but numerous faint Vox signals from the periphery indicate that the planet's small manufacturing clusters survived without succumbing to the heretics. The sacred machines and hallowed laves from these abodes have been reverently transported to the safety of the ship's holds. The fate of Kiava Gamma hangs in the balance. Ancient machinery. Ancient code. Alright. So no matter what, we gain one of these howler cannons. What the fuck is a howler? Long-range broadside plasma macro cannons fire 4 shots, dealing 26 damage per shot. Damn. Purify and restore Kiava Gamma, no matter the cost. Store the Manufactorum in the shortest possible time without subjecting the wounded planet to a merciless purge. a bad idea. This is a absolutely terrible idea that will 100% lead to heretical problems later. But fuck it. Restore the Manufactorum in the shortest possible time without subjecting the wounded planet to a merciless purge. The dynasty restored. You reclaimed all the colonies. I have not been to Darkonis. The blast furnaces are lit again. Machines once more fill the air with screeches and squeals, and mag trains of wagons stretch in lines from one workshop to the next. But the cogitators by Herrick chance carry alarming rumors of malevolent and foul traces of corruption still lurking in the deepest chambers of the Manufactorum. We got 5 of them, though. Wait. It says 5 there, but it says 3. Did I already have 2? I might have already had 2. Under the ship. Beep bloop. Iron Judgment. You decided the fate of Kiava Gamma. Small thorn. Restoration. Blessed are the weaponsmiths. Calculating holiness. Alright. The manufactorums of Kiava Gamma have been damaged and tainted by the procedures of the heretic Delphum, a renowned tech architect, the fugitive aristocrat Barabbas Kilius is offering to enter the Rogue Trader's service as a planetary steward and restore the world to its former production capacity. +1 efficiency. Mechanisms. Cursed boots. Whenever the wearer ends their turn, they deal a number of adjacent creatures warp damage to each adjacent creature and to the wearer themselves. Alright. The Dark Marchesa. Great trials are ahead, and we must steel ourselves to face them. The Rogue Trader will sign a mutual aid agreement with the casters of the Departamento Munitorum. These outstanding theoreticians of warfare will supervise the repurposing of the plant's manufactorums for the production of weapons and military equipment. In the jaws of lathe machines and the wombs of alloy vats, soulless plasteel will take on its highest and most perfect form, that of a weapon. Security weapons. Profit factor -1. For generations, the Adeptus Mechanicus have been custodians of the machinery and cogitators of Kiava Gamma. Recognizing the value of this tragedy-stricken world, they are willing to deploy a forge cathedral on it as a token of sympathy. Therein, the blessed fabricator sensor Fortron will envision and lay out a new and more perfect design for the planet. Hand of Xenocide. Weapon deals more damage to Xenos enemies. Minus profit factor. Complacency, mechanisms, weapons, and that. Okay. Purity. But negative events on. We're gonna go with this one. Blessed are the weaponsmiths. So that I feel like this is a place that's gonna need some security measures. Just saying, you know? I have the Omnisaya, yo. The computing power. Enemies suffer -10% to their invasion. Sick. Alright. We're gonna end here for today because, 1, I haven't eaten today, so I'm hungry. And 2, it's a little bit past 7. So, did I just say? I did. Okay. So we shall end this here for today.